the last month and a half, Ilya Samsonov has been pulled 3 times, as he would allow 3 goals on 4 shots against Tampa.
It's somewhere else for one time. Fire that! And score again!
And in their next meeting, he would allow 4 goals on 12 shots. And finally, this past week, he would allow 4 goals on 16 shots and a wild 9-3 blowout. And don't get me wrong, the Maple Leafs have been a good team. But all this does beg the question. In a league where goalies like Demko, Price, Ottinger, Andrei Vasilevsky have all stolen countless games, if not playoff series, will shaky or perhaps inexperienced goaltending be the nail in the coffin for a team like the Leafs? Like seriously, if we take a look at teams who are severely underperforming, the Oilers, Minnesota Wild, Ottawa Senators, Buffalo Sabres, I could keep going, Calgary Flames, Carolina Hurricanes, New Jersey Devils, each of these teams have one thing in common: inexperienced or disappointing goaltending. In an era where we are seeing the highest goal-scoring averages in decades, it has never been more important to have that game-breaking goalie. And a common sentiment I hear, well, have you seen the defense in front of the goalie? And you know what? That's a fair point. With that being said, in the last several decades, we have seen 3 combinations of roster construction that has led to a finals run. A solid defensive core but elite goaltending. The Habs are a great example. B, an elite defensive core and a solid goaltender, as this has been the most common example, with the Knights, Avs, and St. Louis Blues all falling in this category. Or C, both an elite defensive core and an elite goalie. And this right here is the epitome of Tampa's back-to-back cup wins. And if you look at Toronto or Edmonton, and keep in mind, I'm rooting for both of these teams, so I'm not trying to be a hater. Both of these teams have at best an average defense. On top of that, inexperienced or shaky goaltending. And this right here is something I will never be able to wrap my head around, as both the Oilers and Leafs were committed to full-blown rebuilds. Yet, somehow, at no point did either team decide to focus on drafting a single goalie within the top end of the draft. And no, I'm not saying they should have used a top 10 pick or even a first rounder. Each team wouldn't draft a single goalie even in the second round. And if we take a look at nearly all the top teams, they each fall into one of these categories. The Vancouver Canucks, who are somehow first in the league, would have Jacob Markstrom, where they would slowly ease Demko into being the starter. The Rangers would draft and develop Igor Shesterkin, on top of being mentored by Henrik Lundqvist. This momentum would lead Igor into having arguably the best goaltending season in NHL history. The Bruins would draft and develop Jeremy Swayman, mentored by Ullmark and Tuukka Rask. And the same thing goes for Vegas, the Islanders, Dallas, the Winnipeg Jets, hell, even the Philadelphia Flyers, as it has become clear that if you don't have that elite goalie that can compensate for defensive lapses, at the bare minimum, you still need a good goalie and elite defense. Not only that, teams that have had the most success have not only drafted and developed a goalie, but you need a stable veteran presence to transition that goalie into being a starter. Well, that goalie isn't just thrown to the wolves. And the proof is in the pudding. 8 out of the top 10 teams have all drafted and developed an elite goalie. But what do you guys think? Will this hold back teams like Toronto or Edmonton? Is it worth the risk and hoping that your goalie heats up at the right time? Or perhaps will their offense compensate? And are we going to see a big trade from Toronto? Maybe a Mitch Marner trade? Maybe. The Cale Makar chase box is still in stock? Now, I don't know for sure, but I actually don't think it's been pulled yet, as I typically get a message or review when the main chase card is pulled. But every box comes with a guaranteed graded card. I only made 11 boxes total, where each box also comes with a sealed hockey card product, as well as a 1 in 3 chance of getting a bonus 15 and 16 Series 1 pack. This single pack retails for like 90 bucks. It's the same pack that potentially contains the McDavid Young Guns. Check it out down below if you want to support the channel, and as always, thanks for watching.